MCO Chase Pearson, and I hope y'all are having a great time out there. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I'm here in the MCO studios playing around with a bunch of different computers and mixers, trying to make this look out and work out real well for y'all. Welcome to MCO Radio, y'all. It's good to be back. We haven't had a show in about a week, and I'm sorry about that. Had a lot going on, but we're back and we're ready to do it. If you noticed online, we've been telling you we're going to go to a 3-time-a-week format for this show. It'll be Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I know everybody's like, why aren't you going to do it on Friday and Saturday night? Well, honestly, because I have a lot to do, and I actually do like to take some time off and spend some time with my wife. But, you know, that's the way it is. But it's Sunday, June 22nd. I hope y'all have had a great weekend and you're resting up and getting ready for a new week, because we've got a lot to talk about, and I don't know exactly what all we're going to talk about yet. Phone lines are open, people. You can tune in at Ustream on the website at mcoradio.com. On Facebook, we're glad to see all of y'all tuning in. We've got a bunch of streams going out there. Let's see. I'm pulling up the Ustream address right now so I can post it on Facebook. Let's see. Channels. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on this computer, so it might take a minute. There we go. We got about 35 streams going right now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Sunday afternoon, like I said, and we are ready for some fun. Let me see. I'm posting the show link to Facebook right now. Let me cut off this music stream on the other side and get everything ready for my next stuff to talk about. Let's see here. Go to my page and start tuning this in. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. We got a whole bunch to talk about, people. I've been, working on several projects. I'm helping out with truthviamedia.net and Shadow Radio and Truth Talk Today with Al Mickle and a bunch of other shows. So we've got a whole bunch going on. But the MCO Radio Show is your new home for politics and more, right here from MagicCityOnline.com. So tune in and check it out, and you can even call on the phone, 205-588-1066. And tell us what you've got going on. See, I already missed a call. Let's see. It's kind of a last-minute notice for everybody in case y'all saw it blasting out into your email list and your Facebook and everything. So I know it's kind of crazy. I'm posting it all over the place on Facebook so we can get this show on the road. Like I said, 205-588-1066. You can tune in live and call in and tell us about your issues and everything. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things today. And let's see. Here we go. All right. The links are all out there on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at MCO Radio Live. You can, of course, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/MCO Radio Live. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. If you do follow the program on Twitter, we will shout you out live. If you say something on the Facebook page, we'll talk you up too. So join us there. Let me see. It is MCO Radio Live, I believe. Yes, it is. I'm filling, if y'all are not hearing me, I'm filling up the Twitter feed and everything else with a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Have y'all heard about the, I'm going to get this show on the road, people, so we can get some stuff and get talking about some stuff here. Let's see. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got to get me some new co-hosts for this show, I'm telling you right now, because we need some more people on this. And it's fun to talk to me, I know, but, I'm not the only person that needs to be on this show. We've got maybe even our buddy Al Mickle calling in. We may have Alila Sheen from the Libertarian Party and a whole bunch of other stuff going on here shortly. If you want to call in, it's 205-588-1066, and you can call in live on the show. I've got the show computer up and running and a whole bunch of stuff to talk about here. I'm going to start off with a article I posted the other day. It's from June 17th. It says, Sheriff Arpaio, y'all know Sheriff Joe out there in Arizona, says the Border Patrol is too busy changing diapers to go after illegal immigrants. Would you agree with that? I would. looking at the news, we've got this, 70,000 new illegal immigrants. They're cramming into stadiums and army bases and all this stuff out. They're coming into Texas and they're moving them out to Arizona because they can't handle so many. It's a quote. It says, Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio says the Border Patrol is too busy babysitting to actually do their jobs. He says the Border Patrol is too busy changing diapers and not going after dope peddlers and illegal immigrants. And on this article it says more than 47,000 mostly Central American unaccompanied children have been caught illegally crossing the Mexican border into Texas since October. That's left border agents in Texas overwhelmed and unable to process so many children. Within the last week, more than 1,000 of them have been transferred to a warehouse in Nogales, Arizona, where they are being processed before being sent to shelters in various states and then reunited with family members. I only have a problem with that because these are illegal immigrants, and now they're being brought into the country, processed, transferred across the country to other states where they're being housed basically illegally and provided for, and now they're going to be reunited with family members. And that's not through deportation, people. That's through, if they've got family in the state or in the country already, they might even be illegal too. They're going to reunite these kids and let them live here too. I just don't get it. That just doesn't seem like a smart move to me. I don't understand why they're doing this. And it's like, okay, let's just open the border and say, all y'all come on in. La, 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 la. It's not like you can, say no. Everybody hates telling children no, and nobody wants to see children suffer. But the truth of it is, these are not our kids at all. We should not be responsible for taking care of them. Not one bit. It's not our job to do it, and I don't understand why we're being forced to. And it's just like, okay, let's see, get some last arriving quotes on Facebook. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's see. Anyway, back to this article here. Where'd it go? Here we go. It says, quote, I think the president knew this was going to happen, so it's going to help him on his executive orders if Congress doesn't take this mission up. It might backfire because of the inhumane situations. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson and Customs and Border Protection Commissioner whatever his last name is, Kirillowski I can't say it, said that the children are being treated humanely and that there is no free pass for young children or anyone else caught trying to cross the border. It says, I have been watching them Border Patrol agents do absolutely heroic efforts, not only rescuing children but taking care of them way beyond some of the skill sets. They are doing everything from making formula to bringing in their own children's clothing to taking care of these kids in a multitude of ways. In a letter to Johnson, Arizona Attorney General Tom Horn demanded the agency immediately stop transferring adult immigrants and families from Texas to Arizona. He also asked for the Department of Homeland Security to provide the total number of immigrants sent to Arizona and what steps border agents took to ensure that they were healthy and lacking a criminal record. Horn told Fox News that he has not heard back yet after sending the Border Patrol a cease and desist order. Is he really surprised? Look, our president has ordered, basically through executive order and through just telling people what to do, not to follow our own immigration laws. He's telling them not to deport these immigrants who are coming illegally into the country. And the Border Patrol is kind of stuck going, okay, what are we supposed to do? We have our orders, we have our laws, we have our guidelines, but we're being told by the President of the United States to allow illegal immigrants into this country. People, I don't know about you, 70,000 people in 6 months? That's an invasion. Right, like it or not, it is an invasion by South American, at the best, illegal immigrants, if not a bunch of people who really don't like us from, the Middle East and other countries, coming using our southern border, which is the most porous of all of our borders. It's hard to believe, but it's true. And they're just lining up by the thousands coming in here. And we're not doing anything but saying, oh, come on in, we're going to feed you, clothe you, and give you education and health care and all this. We know we've got, millions and millions of our own citizens who can't afford to eat, who can't afford to go get insurance, who can't afford to go to the doctor, who can't do anything. Yet we're going to spend all this billions and billions of dollars taking care of illegal immigrants from other countries instead of taking care of our own. What in the hell is wrong with these people? I can't say it enough, people. It's staggering to me that we have this much stupidity. It really is staggering, and I just cannot get over it. I cannot say enough. I cannot yell and scream loud enough. And it's like nobody is paying any attention, and I don't know why. Do you? Phone lines are open, people, 205-588-1066. I cannot explain enough about how bad the situation is going to get. Here's the idea. All of these big corporations who are, funneling millions and millions of dollars into these election campaigns and backing all of these horrible, horrible, quote-unquote, leaders that y'all keep sending to D.C., they want cheap labor. They want amnesty. They want illegal immigrants in this country. Why? It's very simple. It drives down the wages of the American citizen. It drives down the wages of everybody trying to get a job. It's amazing to me that y'all don't see this. Not only that, but you look at the other side of this. All of these are liberal companies. Their founders and their directors and their leaders are liberals. And they're Democrat liberals, and they're worse than that. People ask me what's worse than a liberal Democrat, and I say just flat out a traitor to the United States, which all of them are, including our president, including our attorney general, all of them. They are absolute traitors to the concept of the United States of America. If you don't believe me, okay. Let's see. Tune into my buddy's show, Shadow Radio. That's Joshua Coy. He's on Saturday nights from 9 to 11 p.m. on Superstation 101. Tune into his show and listen to what else is going on with the Department of Homeland Security and all of these other agencies like the Post Office. Did y'all know that the Post Office was just given like 100 million rounds of ammo? They've put out petitions to, or not petitions, but proposals to acquire thousands and thousands of pistols and rifles. Do you really think it's a smart idea to give weapons and ammo to the people who coined the phrase going postal? Do you? I don't think it's a good smart idea at all, not one bit. Anybody who does is an absolute moron. That's all I got to say about that. Let's see. Putting another link out there. Sorry, people. I'm trying out a new microphone. If you are not being able to hear me real well, call me up and tell me about it. 205-588-1066. You can also chat in the chat room on the MCO Radio page. I don't believe that there's anybody in there right now, except for me. But that's okay, because I don't mind. Let's see. New followers of the program. Let's see. We got... Apparently I don't have that one up here. Let me see this here. I got some new followers here. Let's see who all we got. Want to give a shout out to my girl Ann Baevsky. She's an international human rights lawyer, professor, and activist. Ooh, nice. She's on Fox News, Breitbart, NRO. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, we need that. Blood Red Patriots, thanks for following the show. We like you guys. Farmer's Daughter, we love y'all. Y'all keep rocking it out. Let's see. David, man, I'm just going to call you Shiitake Mushroom, all right? No offense, but I don't know how to pronounce your last name. It's Shestakak. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Beham Peeps, American Insurgents, Oregon Republican League, MC Garrett, Clayton Trailer, Tim. Oh, good Lord. All of y'all, welcome to the program. Thanks for following the show. Keep showing it out to everybody and tell us everything. You can tune in, 205-588-1066. Call us up and tune in and tell us what you've got going on. The next story we're going to get to, I'm going to come back to illegal immigration in a little while, but it just makes me so damn mad. I cannot get started, because if I do, I just ramble and ramble and ramble. And here's another article. It's from July 17th from Bloomberg. It says, gasoline at U.S. pumps set to hit 6-year seasonal high. Quote, gasoline in the U.S. climbed this week, boosted by a surge in oil, and is expected to reach the highest level for this time of the year since 2008. The pump price averaged $3.686 a gallon yesterday, up 1.2 cents from a week earlier. Data posted on the Energy Information Administration's website yesterday. Oil, which accounts for two-thirds of the retail price of gasoline, gained $2.49 a barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange in the same period and $4.88 in the month ended yesterday. This jump in crude, driven by concern that the crisis in Iraq will disrupt supplies, may boost pump prices by 10 cents a gallon at a time when they normally drop. It says if things deteriorate even more, the spike could be even bigger than that. If it weren't for the situation in Iraq, gasoline would be coming down by now, according to Phil Ryan, a senior market analyst at Price Futures Group in Chicago. This will probably keep it elevated all summer. It's really disappointing. It's not disappointing. Hello? It's tragic. These people don't live in the real world. I don't know about y'all, but if we hit $4 a gallon gas again, I'm probably staying home a lot. I'm sure you are too. If gas goes, and it's already incredibly high. I got gas the other night here just outside of Birmingham at $3.43 a gallon, and I was excited. That is sad. The week before it was $3.51. A couple weeks before it was $3.33. It's just like up, down, up, down, up, down. This is not unplanned, people. They know that this crap in Iraq is going to disrupt oil. And if not, it's going to give you the idea that it could be disrupting the oil. Which means the gas at the pump is going to go up 10, 15, 20 cents. And that gas was bought a month ago. The prices they're talking about don't affect gas prices instantly. That's just price gouging. And besides, who gets all of this money? The state, the federal government, and the oil companies. They're averaging $15 to $20 billion a quarter in profits. Billion, people. That's ridiculous. That's just flat out raping us. Now, of course, then on the other side of that, we only get, 18 to 22% of our oil from the Middle East? That should, also tell you something. That means we're getting screwed. Let's see, what else? Let me get back to this article real quick. It says, quote, Iraq's sectarian violence showed no sign of abating when Sunni Muslim militants and government forces fighting to control Tal Afar in the country's northwest. Prime Minister Maliki, a Shiite, is trying to reverse the advance of militants who captured Iraq's largest northern city of Mosul and other towns last week. So basically what we've got is we've spent, 11 years, 10 years, 8 years, however long we were over in Iraq, and, we still got some people there. We lost 4,500 plus troops. They were killed. Tens of thousands wounded. Maybe even 100,000 wounded. I don't know, but it's tens of thousands of wounded and literally destroyed combat vets who've come home to, what? Oh yeah, they can't even get the help they were promised from the government. The VA system is collapsing under the weight. I am a vet. I go to the VA for my help, for my health care. Do you know what? I love the VA. Those guys, they work really hard. The ladies, they all work really hard to take care of us. But they cannot do it under the weight of 200,000 new veterans. They're not equipped for it. And, that is a lack of leadership. From the president on down, not just the general they fired, as a token, oh, we're going to fix it now. No. Yes, it was partially his fault, but it's more than that. You've got 1 million plus veterans relying on the VA, and I don't know how many hospitals there are and clinics and all this, to take care of traumatic injuries. Not only that, but continued health care. Like me, I've got a bad heart, okay? They've saved my life repeatedly down at the VA. But it's not just them. You've got these disfigured and disabled veterans coming back with arms and limbs blown off. It's not just that. They've got PTSD, they've got physical injuries, their families are in crisis, they can't get their benefits, they can't get their money, and you wonder why they're going a little nuts. Personally, it's shocking to me that the veterans haven't taken over the country yet. It's coming. You watch. If you don't believe me, check out the Veterans Party of America. It's coming. Heard of Oath Keepers? Yeah. I believe that's somewhere near 30 million strong. Our standing army is what? 800,000? It's being cut to half of that by the president. We're going down to pre-World War II levels, yet the country and the world, or not the country, but the world is more violent now than at any time in our history. Yet we're going to cut our defense and, our offensive capabilities by 2/3. Yeah. All of these people are against us. Yet our president-in-chief, commander-in-chief thinks, oh, we can do it with 500,000 people. Okay. Iran's got a standing army of what? 1.2, 1.4 with a reserve of 4 million? What about Syria? What about Afghanistan, Pakistan? Then you add, let's don't bullshit. Then you add the Chinese and the Indians and the Russians and the Koreans. And we're going to keep all of these people in line with 500,000 troops. I'm going to light me a cigarette because, after that screwing, I really need one. Anyway, you can check out all of these links on the MCO Radio fan page, and they will start going up on the MCORadio.com, which is just now coming online. We're going to keep everything on Magic City Online, but we're also going to keep doing these things on the new MCORadio.com, which if you go there, it looks messed up. And it is. Don't get me wrong. It's messed up. But we'll be adding more content there. You can become a fan of the page, and you'll automatically become a fan of the website as well. Uh-oh. I think I got something going on Ustream. What's up, Ustream? How are you, buddy? There we go. Let me hit reload. I think I got a new one on here. Nope, no new ones, but it's okay. Love you guys. Let's see. I'm waiting on a refresh on another article I want to talk about. Alright, this is from CNSnews.com, and this is something else we need to think about. Price index for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs rocket to all-time high. This is from Ali Meyer on June 17th. Quote, the seasonally adjusted price index for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs hit an all-time high in May, according to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS. In January 1967, when the BLS started tracking the measure, the index for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs was 38.1. As of last May, it was 234.572. By this January, it hit 240.240, and by April, it was 250. And at the end of May, 252. The index for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs has risen 7.7% over this last year span. The index for food at home increased 0.7%, its largest increase since July 2011. 5 of the major 6 grocery store food group indexes increased in May, and it just keeps on going on. And what does this translate to you? I'm going to pull up a little thing here. I do believe that's 1,000% growth in 45 years. So you can all attribute this to whatever you want to. I'm going to tell you it's from quantitative easing and, printing $80 billion a month worth of unbacked cash. It's called inflation. It's very simple. Pretty much, a pound of fresh chicken in 2004 cost you basically $1. Since then, it's gone up another $1. That's just in 10 years. It's really ridiculous. Now, I don't know if you've all paid attention or not, but bread, $3. I remember getting bread for $1, and you can still buy bread for $1, but it's the great value bread. It's the bread that didn't get sold in the first week or so that it came out, so they repackage it and put it in another one, and they sell it to you. It's probably killing us all. Yes, it just probably is. It's really, really sick. But we eat so much crap today that we don't even know what's in it. It's amazing that we're still alive. Aspartame. It's very simple. Look into aspartame and tell me that's a good thing. I'm going to tell you it's not. I'm just going to tell you it's not a good thing at all to have aspartame in your food. But, you know what? We got tons of it. Sorry, needed a quick catch of my drink right there. Let's see here. We got some more stuff to talk about. Let's see. Cotton Box Road. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the show. We've got a whole bunch of new people fanning up the fan page. I want to call out some of our new fans real quick. Let's see who we got. Go to likes. And of course, it doesn't tell you who they are anymore. Grogan, Leela Sheen, Victoria, Desiree Fitz, the Peanut, Jonathan Barbie, thanks for tuning in, man. John McCollum, great. Yep. Roger Jones, great for tuning in. Good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in to the MCO Radio Show. We got a whole bunch more to talk about, but I think first I'm going to play some music for you guys. We're going to start doing like we do on 205 Live. We're going to start playing a bunch of our Alabama original musicians, and we've got some good music here. I want y'all to check out Chasing the Storm from Choralist, and we'll be right back on MCO Radio. Peace. And that's Coralist on MCO Radio. That's Chasing the Storm. You can check them out at facebook.com/Coralist and also probably Coralist.com. They're really rocking it all over Alabama. They've been playing a bunch of shows at Iron Horse and everywhere else. So you guys check them out. Give them some love, and buy their new CD. They just got a new one out, and they've got another one coming soon, I believe. But you can check them out on Facebook, and we'll get back to that in just a little bit. We'll play some more music in a bit. I want to talk to y'all about this Lois Lerner situation. This lady was the head of the IRS, the office that, investigated nonprofit corporation filings, and she specifically targeted Tea Party and Republican groups for much more scrutiny than she did anything else. And we found that it's been ordered, at least as high as the main IRS, and we know that's why it's such a big thing, because it comes from the White House. Anybody who doesn't believe the White House is behind this is a complete moron, and you should, remove yourself from the gene pool. But that's just me. I don't like idiots. I really don't. So, if you find me a little offensive, I don't care. Drop me on Facebook. Don't really care. Doesn't bother me a bit. I really don't want to be involved with anybody who's an idiot. So, now they're telling us that they've been, for 2 years, they have been lying to Congress. The IRS has been lying to Congress about not having these documents that they wanted. They haven't been totally forthcoming with all the documents that have been requested by the Congress. And now, lo and behold, they have lost 2 years of Lois Lerner's emails. Yet the IRS was contracted with an electronic document archiving company that was specifically tasked with backing up emails from the IRS and everybody in the IRS. Yet they've still managed to lose Lois Lerner's emails. Okay, people, I have been a systems administrator and a network admin. I know all about computers and email servers and networks and all that. And I'm going to tell you, they did not lose them. They were deleted on purpose. Okay, let me just put this out there for you. If you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, which the U.S. government is, you have servers upon servers for managing your online stuff. All your internet stuff is managed by some of the most secure servers in the world. So your email at the in the Internal Revenue Service is going to be backed up on several servers and then off-site archived at another place, which this other company was, paid to do. So it's very hard for, say, even 2 servers to be blacked out, specific files. You could go and say, oh, we lost all the files on this one server. But then you got to remember, it's mirrored, which is called backed up instantly, onto another server. And then off-site backed up as well. So they've got all these other people's emails, all these other people's documents, yet they've lost specifically Lois Lerner's. Okay, let me tell you how this happens. You go to an admin and you tell him, delete all of these files. And he brings up a little terminal window and types about 2 lines of code and pow, it's gone. Takes about 30 seconds and that's about it. You're going to find that somebody did this. Or you're not going to find it, but that's how it was done. That was specifically deleted to hide her complicity in all of this. And whoever she's, protecting. I was having an interesting conversation the other day with a man who's an attorney about the Fifth Amendment. And specifically about Lois Lerner claiming, protection under the Fifth Amendment in front of Congress. And actually, I was backing her up at first. Believe it or not, I was kind of, like I do a lot, I was stirring the pot, basically. I wanted to find out what this man had to say about all this and see if you could actually do what she'd done. And the answer is no. Lois Lerner had given up her right to protection under the Fifth Amendment by already speaking and testifying before Congress before. This is, you can't go blah, 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 blah. Oh, but wait, I'm going to claim the Fifth Amendment now. Nope, doesn't work that way, people. You can claim the Fifth Amendment to, protection against implicating yourself in a crime. but you've already testified to the facts in previous testimony. You can't go back and then go, well, I'm not going to answer any more questions now. I'm going to hide behind the Fifth Amendment. Personally, this lady ought to be held in contempt, physically thrown in jail. And I don't mean these nice little, minimum security. No. Put her in prison, not a country club, and see how well she does. It's never going to happen, but it should do. And they should go after our Attorney General. He is as corrupt as it gets, too. And everybody knows how I feel about Obama. I think he's the worst president in the history of the country. Probably not even an American citizen. And an absolute traitor to the citizens and the Constitution of the United States. Fact. He tramples whatever law he wants, refuses to enforce the laws that are on the books, and then tries to circumvent the Constitution by trampling your First Amendment right of free speech, your First Amendment right to protection and freedom of religion, your Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms, your Fourth Amendment rights to secure yourself against unlawful search and seizure, and so many more. It's just, I cannot believe y'all don't see this. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I understand stupidity, and I understand complacency. I think it's horrible, but I know it happens. I want y'all to call up and tell me what y'all think's going on. Phone lines are open, 205-588-1066. Call us up and let's chat about your stuff. I'm going to pull up some more articles. Oh, wait, here's one. It's from Zach Noble on, what is this? On The Blaze. If y'all haven't checked out theblaze.com, you need to go check that out for a lot of good news and a lot of good resources on the information that your mainstream propaganda media will not cover. So check them out, theblaze.com, theblaze.com. But here we go. It's in the politics section. It's from Zach Noble. It says, quote, "It almost seems like you're accusing the president of treason," end quote. And he's talking about former Vice President Dick Cheney. Quote, it says, "Dick Cheney wouldn't say if he thinks Barack Obama is a traitor or not, but it is clear that he thinks the president is executing terrible foreign policy." The former vice president appeared on This Week with George Stephanopoulos, that guy, Sunday morning, where the host asked about Cheney's Obama-slamming op-ed published last week in the Wall Street Journal. And yes, I'm going to pull that up and try to talk about it too in just a minute. First, we're going to check and make sure there's no videos playing on this page. That will mess up our stream here. No, there's not at the moment. That's great. So, let's go back. Let's go to the op-ed first. This is The Collapsing Obama Doctrine, Wall Street Journal, published on June 17th. And the Collapsing Obama Doctrine: Rarely has a U.S. president been so wrong about so much at the expense of so many. By Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney. Quote, "As the terrorists of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, threaten Baghdad, thousands of slaughtered Iraqis in their wake, it is worth recalling a few of President Obama's past statements about ISIS and Al-Qaeda." Quote, "If a JV team puts on Lakers uniforms, that doesn't make them Kobe Bryant." That was January 2014. And then, "Core Al-Qaeda is on its heels, has been decimated," August 2013. "So let there be no doubt, the tide of war is receding," September 2011. Okay, "Rarely has a U.S. president been so wrong about so much at the expense of so many. Too many times to count, Mr. Obama has told us he is ending the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, as though wishing made it so. His rhetoric has now come crashing into reality. Watching the black-clad ISIS jihadists take territory once secured by American blood is final proof, if any were needed, that America's enemies are not decimated. They are emboldened and on the march. The fall of the Iraqi cities of Fallujah, Tikrit, Mosul, and Tel Afar, and the establishment of terrorist safe havens across a large swath of the Arab world present a strategic threat to the security of the United States. Mr. Obama's actions before and after ISIS's recent advances in Iraq have the effect of increasing that threat." No surprise there. "On a trip to the Middle East this spring, we heard a constant refrain in capitals from the Persian Gulf to Israel. Can you please explain what your president is doing? Why is he walking away? Why is he so blithely sacrificing the hard-fought gains you secured in Iraq? Why is he abandoning your friends? Why is he doing deals with your enemies?" In one Arab capital, a senior official pulled out a map of Syria and Iraq, drawing an arc with his finger from province in northern Syria to Anbar province in western Iraq. He said, "They will control this territory. Al-Qaeda is building safe havens and training camps here. Don't the Americans care?" Our president doesn't seem to. Iraq is at risk of falling to a radical Islamic terror group, and Mr. Obama is talking climate change. Terrorists take control of more territory and resources than ever before in history, and he goes golfing. He seems blithely unaware or indifferent to the fact that a resurgent Al-Qaeda presents a clear and present danger to the United States of America. And you got to remember, this is Vice President Dick Cheney saying all this. The man who was vice president for 8 years. I mean, he's not exactly, free of any guilt in the world, but he knows what he's talking about when he talks about the world stage. So basically, he's just like I just did a minute ago. He flatly called Obama a traitor to the people of the United States and a traitor to the Constitution.
He fucking is. He is.
Yes, and in case y'all didn't know, Lady Victoria just dropped the F-bomb. She just walked in to sit down with me and smoke a cigarette. Hang on just one second. Huh? What? Oh, she's being good. That's only her 4th cigarette today. That's good. That's incredible. So I want y'all to check out this. This is the Wall Street Journal. He published this on June 17th. It's from him and his wife Liz Cheney. These people are not just your rambling neighbors telling you and talking about how bad the situation is in the world. This is the former Vice President of the United States, a man who has billions and billions of dollars, who looks at the world from eyes that are not clouded by indifference or clouded by ignorance. He knows what's going on. So when you hear somebody like this talk, I hope it rings a little bit louder in your ears than even when I talk, even though, sometimes I yell. Victoria will, of course, deny that. Do you want me to turn on your microphone?
Would you like me to?
Sure. Joining us, ladies and gentlemen, is Lady Victoria. She is joining us on mic 2, I think.
Am I on?
Yes, you are, dear. So, Lady Victoria, you were just saying that you had many examples of how the president was harming our families, and everything else. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on, sweetie.
Well, first of all, when they did not the stop loss, but the frozen paychecks, my brother had a family of 3 he was taking care of while he was deployed, and his wife could not work because she was pregnant with the last child, his son.
Right.
So she couldn't feed her kids. She couldn't pay the bills. She couldn't do anything.
And that was, what, 2012?
Yes. My brother was deployed for a year, and for 4 months, they had to live off of nothing because she could not work because she was in the last stages of her pregnancy.
Okay.
And to make matters worse, now I am getting billed for Chase's heart medicine, which used to be covered by the VA. All of our medicines used to be covered by the VA. I hope none of us have any heart attacks soon, because everyone knows on Veterans Day I go down and visit our veterans that are in the hospice. Now, how are these veterans that are in the hospice, how are they going to pay? After they gave up their life, their blood, their body to this country, and now are being turned over to a terrorist.
Yes. Yeah. It's horrible. We were just talking about the VA just a little bit ago about how they've got, 1.2 million new veterans thrown onto the registers of the VA, and the VA is collapsing underneath the weight. It's not just a lack of funding, it's a lack of leadership from the White House on down.
That's part of the reason I turned down my pension check that I was getting because of my knee. Another veteran might need it. I don't want another veteran that can't work after I was told I was never going to walk again after the 3rd surgery that the military botched and finally had to reconstruct my knee out of fake pieces. Imagine what would happen if you had an amputee, a double leg amputee. What if I was in the way of his pension check?
Well, you wouldn't be.
That's just the way I see it. And the bad part is the ones that are getting their pension checks are the ones that are getting out on a crazy waiver when they're not really crazy. I've met a few of them recently in the local bars.
Well, we see a bunch of interesting characters in our local watering holes, that's for sure. And there's a bunch of crappy ones out there. I've met them too. It's ridiculous. But we're talking about the VA collapsing under the new the veterans from the last 10 years, 12 years, since we went to war in Iraq and Afghanistan. 13
Well,
years.
it all started when all of us got the letters that someone took the CD home with all of our information on it. That started the collapse of the VA.
When was that? I forgot. It wasn't too long ago.
It's 2004, 2005.
That's true.
My mother's was compromised. My father's was compromised. My late husband's was compromised. I was compromised. So someone out there has our information.
Oh, I'm sure. It's, part of this crazy wave of identity theft that's been going on. It should be nearly impossible to do that, but it's not. It's virtually simple, from what I understand, to steal somebody's identity, especially if you've got their social security number, date of birth, driver's license numbers, all this, which is freely available on the net if you just know how to search for it.
True. But if you have a president that's going to say he's going to stand up for the people when he originally started running his race, then he needs to start standing up for all of the people that he represents, not just people in other countries that he wants to bring here to eradicate us.
Oh, we've been talking about the invasion of the USA by the illegal immigrants. We've covered that extensively. 70,000 in 6 months under the age of 16.
Red Dawn is no longer just a myth. A
No.
story made up. It's going to happen.
I believe it's just a matter of time. But then again, I believed it's just a matter of time for several years now, and it's still not here. So we're working on getting all that. But I want y'all to check out another track from another local band real quick. We're going to go take a break. Check out Enemy from Within Reason, and we'll be right back on MCO Radio.
Going straight to the top and I'm moving faster. On the way to the top and I'm ready for speed. Ramped up, lit up and feeling tough. Pissed as hell and I can't get enough. Better watch me back, you know I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy. Going hand to hand and here comes disaster. It's one-on-one, it's just you and me. Hands up, wrapped up, lit up and feeling tough. Pissed as hell and I can't get enough. Better watch me back, you know I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy. Not the animal in me. And I'm filling up your veins like a disease. I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy. You're the enemy. You're the enemy. I'm the enemy. I'm the
And we're back on MCO Radio, everybody. Lady Victoria has left the studio. She has decided that she doesn't want to keep driving me nuts, even though she's pretty much the reason I do all this. 'Cause she's like, what? If you're going to talk about it, you might as well do something about it. So hence why I'm running for Senate, hence why I'm doing this, hence why I'm doing that, and hence why MCO Radio is now back on the air with something new to talk about. Anyway, back to this article. From Zach Noble talking to Vice President Dick Cheney, or former Vice President Dick Cheney. Says, it almost seems like you're accusing the president of treason here, says ABC News' chief White House correspondent John Carl. Cheney said, Obama's dead wrong, but he didn't mean him any disrespect. Cheney was just noting the facts on the ground as he sees them. We create a vacuum in Iraq and it's being filled, Cheney said, noting that neighboring nations and militant groups like the Islamic Army of Iraq and Syria are seizing power as U.S. influence wanes. Obama is dramatically limiting the capability of future presidents to deal with crises by virtue of the policies he's taken. The scope of the problem, in part, is based upon his unwillingness or the unwillingness of the president to recognize we have a problem. They're still living back in the day when they claimed, we got bin Laden, whatever, terrorist problem solved. That wasn't true then, it's even less true today. I'll post this article in just a minute on the MCO Radio page, and you can tune in and check it out yourselves on your own computers or laptops. Here we go. Let's see. That's a new article there. Let's see what else we got going on. Tons of stuff. Illegal immigration. Just some of the headlines I'm seeing today. The feds wanted to turn this hotel into a refugee camp, but they made a major error. But there's a video on this page too. Sure enough. Give me just a second, y'all. Alright. Says searching for places to... It's titled, The Feds wanted to turn this hotel into a refugee camp, but they made a major error. Quote, searching for places to house the overwhelming influx of Mexican and Central American children crossing the U.S. southern border without parents or guardians, government officials scouted out an abandoned hotel in Grand Island, New York on Friday. Or at least the government thought the hotel was abandoned. As it turned out, the 263-room Byblos Niagara Resort and Spa was fully booked. It looks like there's been a mistake, federal agents with the Homeland Security Department and the Border Patrol told the hotel manager, according to the Buffalo News. They were thinking the hotel was abandoned and closed. It's unclear how the federal government got the idea that the hotel might be available for use as a refugee camp, but that's beside the point. All right, let's get this right. These kids are coming across the border from Texas and New Mexico and Arizona, and even in Southern California. The government is going to try to drive them to the opposite pole of the country, to the other border of New York near Niagara Falls, to host a refugee camp. Do y'all see the problem here? They tried this in Virginia. They tried this in North Carolina. The local citizens wouldn't put up with it. They raised enough crap and enough, basically hell that they had to back up and do something else. Yet the government is going to allow these children and these immigrants, these criminals, a lot of them, to come into our country and house them on the other side of the country. Do y'all honestly believe they're going to send them back? No. The President of the United States just the other day is quoted as saying he's going to provide lawyers for every single one of them. People, this is blanket amnesty without it being law. They are going they're going counter to the laws on the books and basically allowing an invasion of our country every day by thousands of illegal immigrants. And now they're still talking amnesty across the board. Even got the Republicans talking about it. I was listening to the Laura Ingraham show, the other night on 101, and she was talking about it with different governors, like the governor of Texas, the governor of Arizona was on, the governor of New Mexico was on, and then the governor of Oklahoma was on, telling about how these illegal immigrants are being brought across state lines to be housed in other states at the state's expense. And you're still sending these people back to Congress. Of course, you did get up there in wherever he's from. Eric Cantor's gone. That's a small victory for the Tea Party, a small victory for the people. I hope it's a sign of things to come across the country, that the Tea Party groups and the Libertarian parties and even some of your grassroots Republican groups are starting to get results and get rid of these career politicians who do not represent you or represent the people of the United States. They get in office, they start getting all this money from these PACs and these corporations, and they quit representing you. It's a simple fact. That's what's happening. The only reason I'm running is to make a difference. Stand up for my friends, my family, the people that I see every day struggling with bills, struggling with medicines. People, it is ridiculous. If you've looked at the middle class in the last decade, you've gone from a strong, or relatively strong middle class to one that is almost non-existent. It is collapsing under the weight of itself because wages are being driven down, taxes are going up, and we are not surviving. It is horrible what's being done to our country. It's not the super rich people that provide jobs. Not really. The backbone of the United States has always been its middle class and its small businesses. Yet small businesses are closing at an alarming rate. They're failing to open. We have less small businesses opening this year than we did last year, and that's more than 50% decline over a decade ago. It is too expensive to open a new business now. You can't afford to hire people now. All right, I'll give you an example. Magic City Online, about 5 years ago, was in a position to hire 4 new people, full-time, yet as taxes went up, we couldn't do it. I was down to hiring 1 new person, and I couldn't even afford to pay that person full-time. It just collapsed under its own weight. You know, utility bills went up so high, that killed 1 person's job. You're like, what kind of utility bills? Overhead, simple rent, internet, power, phones, everything went up to where we couldn't hire even 1 person. Imagine that across the country in millions of people's businesses. Families that would have been able to go out and get a decent job. Now those businesses are no longer hiring. They're cutting hours left and right. They're doubling workloads on people because they can't afford to hire new people, yet they still need the work done. They're cutting benefits. With Obamacare, they can't afford to hire new people because you've got to provide benefits for that person. You've got to provide Obamacare health care insurance for those people. You can't do that. The cost of hiring a new person went up. It's because everybody's like, oh, I make $10 an hour. Well, yes, okay, you make $10 an hour or $15 an hour or whatever. If you make $10 an hour, figure your company's paying $17 an hour to hire you, at least, if not $22. So all of you people out there making $40, $50, $60,000 and complaining about it, or even 30 grand, just say 30 grand. Figure matching taxes and everything else they're doing for you. They're paying $40,000 a year to hire you. That's an extra 10 grand that they're having to pay to hire you. And you're complaining about a $30,000 a year job or a $40,000 a year job where they're paying probably $50,000 to $55,000 to hire you. It goes up the more money you make. A lot of people out there probably don't know this. But even your minimum wage people. Yeah, okay, you're making $7.25 an hour. They're paying $10 an hour to keep you employed, and you want to complain. You want a better job? You want higher pay? Go get one. Get skilled. Go to school. Get an education. Qualify for something else. Until then, I don't want to hear you complain. Anybody out there who thinks the minimum wage ought to be $15 an hour is an idiot. You're stupid. All right, for those of you that are making minimum wage and you want that 10, 15, whatever dollars an hour, they're going to replace you. You're unqualified, you're untrained, you're uneducated. You think they're going to keep you hired when they can hire, let's say me? I'm not going to go flip burgers. But for $15 an hour, I might. If it got to that point, I might. And for the most part, from all of the fast food workers that I've seen, I can work circles around you. I'm smarter, better educated, and I understand things. I see people in these jobs that are just sitting around with their finger up their nose or pinching their butt, not working. And it's horrible. Yet these are the same people they want to pay $15 an hour. Ooh, we got to give them a living wage. No, we don't. A minimum wage job is a first job. You want to go work fast food? Go work fast food. You want to get more money from that same fast food job? Work harder. Get promoted. Become a shift leader, assistant manager, manager, district manager, whatever. Work hard, do it. Get the skills. Transfer to another company. Start making more money. Until then, quit your complaining. It's falling on deaf ears. These cities and these towns and these states that are starting to raise their minimum wage to $10 and $12 and $15 an hour. All right, I'm going to tell you pretty simply. Have you been to a Burger King lately? You got somebody that's, half drunk, half high, taking your order, doesn't get it right. I bet you at $15 an hour, they replace you with a computer. You walk up, the computer goes, "What do you want?" Shows you a menu. You just hit the button. Little point of sale system turned around for the customer to use. Guess what? That cost $500 one time, and it works forever. Doesn't get the orders wrong. I think they replace you. All they gotta do is that way they can replace 4 minimum wage workers with 4 screens and 1 person serving or 2 persons serving up the orders as they come out of the kitchen. That's how it'll be. It's horrible. So now let's talk about other things that are going on in the world. And I'm having a mental breakdown today. It's Sunday afternoon at 5:04 p.m. And I hope y'all are all having fun with us. We got some people in the chat room. Welcome to the show. You can tune in on the Ustream live feed on ustream.tv, and you can chat with us live on the show. It's a lot of fun. We got about 16 people in the chat room. Welcome aboard. Let's see, we got 2 under there named guest. I don't know who they are, but welcome to the show. Let's see what else we got. Have anything come in on the MCO Radio page? Nope, no new activity. Call us up, 205-588-1066. Join the show. Tell us about your situation and what you think about what's going on, and we'll get you live on the show and talk to you about it. I'm going to go and play another track from Divided Seasons. If y'all haven't heard of Divided Seasons, you need to check them out at Divided Seasons Music on Facebook. And this is Life After Rough by Divided Seasons. And we'll be right back on MCO Radio. Peace.
On the floor, the kid who plays the
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting
Location.
in the forest near the side of the road.
No need for alarm, sir. The forest is where bears live.
But this was no ordinary bear.
No ordinary bear?
Yeah, 1 second I'm having a smoke taken in the view. Next thing I know, I am face to face with Smokey Bear.
Let me guess, Smokey had a tip for you.
He did. He must have seen me toss my cigarette on the ground. He told me never to do that because it only takes one spark to start a wildfire.
He's a smart bear. Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans? That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
That's what Smokey said. I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous, and you're not.
Good point.
If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference, because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
And we're back on MCO Radio, people. It's me, Mr. MCO Chase Pearson, tuning back in to tell you all about what's going on around the country and how it affects you. If you didn't see it, I just posted a link on Magic City Online and MCO Radio entitled South Dakota Republican Party Calls for Obama Impeachment. It says here, quote, the South Dakota Republican Party State Convention passed a resolution calling for the impeachment of President Barack Obama Saturday. The resolution says Obama has violated his oath of office in numerous ways. It specifically cites the release of the 5 Taliban combatants in a trade for captive U.S. soldier Bo Bergdahl, Obama's statement that people could keep insurance companies, and recent EPA regulations on power plants. Quote, therefore, be it resolved that the South Dakota Republican Party calls on our U.S. representatives to initiate impeachment proceedings against the President of the United States. Wow. It says Alan Unruh of Sioux Falls sponsored the resolution. Quote, I've got a thick book of impeachable offenses of the President to send a symbolic message that liberty shall be the law of the land. Delegate David Wheeler of Beadle County disagreed. I believe we should not use the power of impeachment for political purposes. By doing this, we look petty, like we can't achieve our political goals through the political process. Good Lord, that's what the power of impeachment is for, you dumb schmuck. He's not doing what he's supposed to. He's violating the law. He's violating the Constitution. He's violating his oath of office. It's time for him to go. Of course, then again, we don't want to be, saddled with Biden either. He's about as much of an idiot as it gets as well. But, we can take both of them out, but then we end up with, I think, Speaker of the House, that's Boner, right? We can't deal with him either. He's a turncoat. He's just twisting in the wind. We need an entire new class of leaders sent to Washington, sent to our state capitals, in our cities, and our counties. It is time, people. We are not going to put up with this. Our great-grandchildren are being saddled with debt. If you don't believe me, check it out. There's tons of links about the rise in debt. We were at $6 trillion in 2008, and now we're at almost $18 trillion. If that doesn't scare the living hell out of you, I don't know what will. Apparently nothing, because y'all aren't listening. You're not doing anything. You're sending the same people to office, and I don't know why. I've never understood it. But maybe we'll get something going here soon. Let's see. Here's another one off of Yahoo News. Iraq militants turning back clock and captured Mosul. This is 8 hours ago. Quote, in the 2 weeks since it was seized by Sunni militants, some residents of the northern Iraqi city of Mosul feel the clock has been turned back hundreds of years. The militants, led by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant ISIL jihadist group, had begun imposing an extreme interpretation of Islamic law in the days since they took the city. The militants will return us and our country hundreds of years backwards, and their laws are the opposite of the laws of human rights and international law, says Muhammad, a 35-year-old teacher. He says, we live in continuous fear of being subjected to new pressures, she said. We are afraid of being prevented from working and contributing to building the community. The city, known before 2003 for its historic sites and parks and in later years as a hub for deadly violence, fell on June 10th to the militants, who subsequently overran surrounding provinces and other swaths of other territory. Security forces in Mosul, a city of some 2 million people before the offensive, wilted in the face of the onslaught, in some cases abandoning uniforms and even vehicles in their haste to flee. After seizing control, gunmen declared this Nineveh a part of their Islamic State and issued a document outlining new rules. The 16-point document announced the prohibition of the selling and consumption of alcohol and drugs, as well as smoking, and forbade gatherings and carrying weapons. Women are to wear non-revealing clothes and keep to their homes, while shrines are to be destroyed. Statues of poets removed. All depictions of people are considered idolatrous under the militants' extreme interpretation of Islam, and gunmen have begun removing various statues from the city, including some depicting famous poets. Duh. Abu Ramzi, one of Mosul's Christians who did not flee the city, said militants destroyed a statue of the Virgin Mary in front of a church. We have not received any threat from any side yet. We will not leave our houses and city even if they slaughter us. This is a city that we lost hundreds of men and have thousands of veterans who are disabled from fighting for this city and fighting for the people of this city. Yet in the space of 2 weeks, it's been reduced and returned to Islamic rule under Sharia law. I bet all the veterans who fought in that city or fought for those people or helped those people in any way are looking down in shame at what's been allowed to go on by their president. We pulled out of there in 2011. 3 years, people, it's collapsed into basically sectarian civil war. We knew it was coming. Anybody who said they were stable was an idiot then and is still an idiot now. I don't know why, but we're just going to allow this to keep going on, apparently. Let's see. What else we got here? Drudge Report. Oh, good. The Drudge Report, the title headline says, Islamic law spreads in Iraq. Anybody here on the show ever heard of Dinesh D'Souza? He had that great movie, 2016, Obama's America, that everybody talked down about, except for the, hundreds of thousands of millions who saw it and agreed. It is just horrible what's being allowed to happen. So, y'all should check out that movie and his new one, America, which comes out, I believe, next week. I'll post a link to that on the MCO Radio fan page and on the website soon. But here's another one from Fox News Politics. It says, Louisiana Governor Jindal claims rebellion brewing against Washington. Quote, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal on Saturday night accused President Barack Obama and other Democrats of waging wars against religious liberty and education and said that a rebellion is brewing in the U.S. with people ready for a hostile takeover of the nation's capital. Jindal spoke at the annual conference hosted by the Faith and Freedom Coalition, a group led by longtime Christian activist Ralph Reed. Organizers said more than 1,000 evangelical leaders attended the three-day gathering. Republican officials across the political spectrum concede that evangelical voters continue to play a critical role in GOP politics. End quote. I can sense right now a rebellion brewing against these United States, Jindal said, where people are ready for a hostile takeover of Washington, D.C. to preserve the American dream for our children and grandchildren. The governor said there was a silent war on religious liberty being fought in the U.S., a country that he said was built on that liberty. I am tired of the left, he says. They say they're for tolerance. They say they respect diversity. The reality is this. They respect everybody unless you happen to disagree with them. The left is trying to silence us, and I'm tired of it. I won't take it anymore. Earlier this week, the governor signed an executive order to block the use of tests tied to Common Core education standards in his state, a position favored by Tea Party supporters and conservatives. It's also supported by me. I think Common Core is a travesty. Back to the story, he said he would continue to fight against the administration's attempts to implement Common Core. He says the federal government has no role, no right, and no place dictating standards in our local schools across these 50 states of the United States of America. I agree. It's horrible. Our education system has been intentionally destroyed for at least 2 generations now. They've been dumbing down society to the point now where our children today, growing up don't even get a class, or at least a real course, on American history and the founding of our country. They're taught that the Revolutionary War, the leaders, George Washington and the rest, were nothing short of terrorists against England. Yet we exist because of them. Yet they're told these people were terrorists. It's the terrorists, as my friend Joshua Coy would say on Shadow Radio. You can check that out at truthviamedia.net and on Facebook at The Shadow Radio, or The Shadow Radio Show, and on Twitter at The Shadow Radio. He has a great way of adding some humor in there. He goes, it's for the children, and it's the terrorists. We got to keep you safe from the terrorists. So that's why they're infringing on your rights and trying to take your guns away. It would seem to me that it would be smarter to give guns to the people if you're trying to protect them from the terrorists. Even the cops will tell you, a 9mm or 45 is a lot quicker than 911. I've had to call 911. Even in the medical emergencies, it still takes several minutes. I've had to call the police. It still takes several minutes. It doesn't take me but a couple of seconds to pull out my pistol and take care of business if I have to. And if you break into my house, just know we're heavily armed. That's the way it is. I wouldn't call it heavily armed. Yeah, I would. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a Marine, and my wife's an Army and Air Force vet. Just be prepared. Even my mom knows how to shoot a shotgun. Yeah, that's a good plan. Break in. Those no-knock raids that are getting cops shot all over the country, yet they're not knocking, they're breaking into people's houses, and they're shocked that people are shooting them. I wonder why they're shocked. I guess if we broke into their house, they'd be like, here's some milk and cookies. You want some milk and cookies? No. Let's see. All right, now we're seeing it coming out to light, and I've heard about this since they started talking about this story. But they're talking about how South American media sources, radio, TV, magazines, newspapers, are all telling these poor and criminals and everybody that, if you go to the U.S., they won't kick you out. They'll feed you. They'll give you, food, education, health care. Just go up there. Get out. Go. Much better life. Give your kids a better life. Just invade the United States. And here's one from the Associated Press, in quotes. Illegal youths, that's the young people coming into our country illegally, will remain for years. 47,017 and counting. Feds looking to shelter in New York. They're going to shelter them in Chicago in a former monastery. And then Biden hints some may get citizenship. And now here's another one. Hundreds of infants, toddlers, under 2 years old apprehended. Then it goes, surprise, cartels use the influx of all these illegal immigrants as cover for their operations. Duh. And if it's them, who's to say it's not a bunch of Middle Eastern terrorists? The terrorists are here, no doubt. Yeah, they're here, and they're still trying to take our guns away. Let's see. Here's one we should do. This would be even better than all of this crap. Let's follow Australia on this one. It says, Australia offers asylum seekers $10,000 to go home. It would be far cheaper to give all these kids $10,000 and send them back than to keep them here. Oh, good. Here's something to scare the crap out of you. Military now has X-ray guns. It's on the Drudge Report. Must be true. Yeah, don't think so. Here's something funny that's not surprising to me. Hillary's book falls out of the top 10 on Amazon after 1 week. Surprise. Nobody likes this woman. If you vote for Hillary Clinton, or you want to vote for Hillary Clinton for president, you should be removed from the gene pool. Straight up. Don't like it? Don't care. You should be gone. Let's see. Hillary bristled at Benghazi deception. Bull crap. She was one of the leading people out there. She had people that worked for her out there talking about some illegal video or some video that was inciting riots when everybody and their brother knew it was a terrorist attack. Yet now, I bristled at it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to stand in front of those coffins as they came off the plane and lie to the American people in the world. Yeah, you did, or you wouldn't have done it. You got bigger balls than Obama. You could have stood up there and did it. You got bigger balls than Bill. That's the only reason anybody kind of likes you. But we like Bill, and because he's fun. Yeah, he had sex with that girl in the Oval Office. I'm not surprised. Never should have asked that question. Of course, he never should have gone on TV and says, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." If you were watching the show, you knew he lied. Every man in the country went, "Bullshit." Every woman in the country went, "Bullshit." The only one that apparently was fooled was his wife, which, I'm not surprised, looking at her and listening to her for all these years, I'm not surprised Bill went away. I'd have gotten rid of her too, It's been rumored that was a political marriage, forever. So, surprise. Hello, he's cheating on you. Well, I'm not surprised. And nobody out there should be surprised. I know you're not. If you are, I'm sorry for you. But anyway, phone lines are open, people. 205-588-1066. Join us on Facebook. Join us on Twitter. It's getting really hot out here in Alabama. So if you're not keeping cool in your family's home, then you need to call my friends over at Brown Heating and Cooling. I'm going to pull up their phone number for you because I forgot it. Apparently I can't type, so hang on. Goodness gracious. Here we go. Let's see. BrownHeatingandCooling.com. Since 1961. Yep. If it's hot in your house and you're not keeping cool this summer, then you need to call Brown Heating and Cooling. 205-871-8111. They're on call 24/7. They've been taking care of business since 1961. And if you call them, tell them you heard about them on MCO Radio and Mr. MCO told you to call. That's the way it is. Give a shout out to my boy Brad over there at Brown Heating and Cooling. It's good to talk to you, man. Look forward to talking to you again soon. And that's that. Let's see. What else we want to talk about? If you're looking for the right armaments, you need to go check out TS Arms down in Pelham. I got their information on my Facebook today, as a matter of fact. Hey, shout out to my boy John Douglas. Just joined in and said something on the show. Good to see you, man. If you're looking for some good ammo or all supplies for going out hunting or just practicing shooting, you need to call our boys down at TS Arms. They're in Pelham. It's 205-663-3559, or you can find them online at tsarms.com or at Facebook. Well, just go to tsarms.com because they haven't finished out their Facebook profile yet. Let's see. Shout out to my boy John Douglas. It says, it's all about control and getting everybody on the dole. Well, that's true, because for real, we've got 51% of the country is now receiving some kind of benefit from the government. Whether it's food stamps, disability, whatever. 51%. That means 49% of the country is paying for 51% of the country. And we wonder why we keep having so many problems. They're trying to tell us that the unemployment rate is down. No. That's just the people who are still on the list trying. That doesn't count the 50, 60, 80 million who've dropped off of the work rolls and just stopped looking for work. That's pretty sad. But that's what's going on, people. Y'all really need to check out what's going on around the world and figure out if you want to live in a country where they are telling you what you can and cannot do. You can no longer speak your mind. You aren't supposed to have guns. They're trying to take those away from us on a daily basis. They're kicking in doors and no-knock raiding people's homes, killing dogs, killing people, and then they go, oh, we're at the wrong house, and nobody's going to jail. Seriously? Not to mention all the stealing of the money. We don't go from $6 trillion to $12 trillion or $18 trillion in debt with nothing to show for it, unless somebody stole a whole bunch of money. I do believe there's a lawsuit out there right now attached to the president, the vice president, and half of Congress, and the banks, all the major banks like J.P. Morgan and, U.S., or not U.S., but World Banks and all this other crap. Wells Fargo, I believe, is attached. Regions is attached. Their parent companies are attached for stealing trillions of dollars from the taxpayers. Literally walking off with it, and it's nowhere to be found. Matter of fact, they even told us that we're not allowed to know where the money went. All the money from TARP and all of the relief things and everything they did to supposedly stove off the depression that we're in now. And, people say, we're not in a depression, we're in a recession. No, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am. No. We are in a depression. And we're not climbing out of it. That's total BS that they're spinning out of Washington, D.C. You don't believe me? Go to your nearest favorite entertainment venue or restaurant and see how many people are there. I bet you will find that their business is off by 60 to 80%, period. And it's true, it is. Businesses are collapsing left and right. No, not your big retail giants. No, they've got enough money to fight through this. But the people going in there, they're spending less. They're buying less. They are making their life decisions now based on gasoline, medicine, and food prices, along with, other types of healthcare expenses like insurance. Obamacare is killing this country. And now they're fighting with the school systems about Common Core. We've got, taxes, property taxes rising. We've got sales taxes rising. We've got income taxes rising. Property values falling. People who bought $500,000 homes thinking, oh, we're going to be able to leave these to our children. No. They are selling them, taking lines of credit out on them to try to keep their homes. Yet they're losing their ability to pay for those loans and to make, decisions for their children, to help with their children's education, to help with their retirement. They're losing their retirements left and right. The medical bills are skyrocketing. You want to know how I know? My mother is a brain tumor survivor. She's had brain tumor surgery, hip replacement, elbow surgery twice, radiation therapy. She's been in the hospital for 4 out of the last 6 months. Trust me when I tell you, Medicare, AARP, and other things like that are not enough. The medical bills are piling up for us. They are piling up for your families. They're piling up for your friends' families, and it is coming to roost. All of the decisions of the Obama administration, now we're about to lose, across the country, something like 3 million more jobs. Why? Because of Obama's new EPA regulations and guidelines. Not passed by Congress. No. By Obama himself through executive order and executive fiat. In Alabama alone, we stand to lose 300,000 jobs and $1.2 billion in annual income. You don't think that's going to affect our economy? I do believe that's 10% of our economy right down the toilet. You've got other states starting to realize what's happening, and they're going after the EPA as well. Attorney generals from, 12 states have now filed a lawsuit against the EPA? I bet more are coming. It's ridiculous. It really is. So, I've got a lot more to talk about, people, but I just don't think I'm going to get to it today. I want to give a shout out to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for joining us on the show. We'll be back Tuesday night with an all-new episode of MCO Radio. Tune in tonight at 10 p.m. on 101.1, the Superstation, for the replay of Shadow Radio. You can find that at facebook.com/Shadow Radio or The Shadow Radio Show, and at Twitter at The Shadow Radio. Josh Okoye will be hosting his show, Shadow Radio. The replay is on tonight at 10 p.m., and we'll be helping him with his new website, truthviamedia.net, along with Al Mickle's show, The Truth Talk Today with Al Mickle. You will find more about that on Magic City Online here soon and on truthviamedia.net, and we will get all that out to you. Join us Tuesday night for an all-new episode of MCO Radio, where I will be much more prepared instead of running down here in the last 15 minutes to get my research done. No. This week I will have more going on Tuesday night. And then 205live.com for 205 Live. The new show will return this week as well. Look for that, and we'll get those details out to you on Facebook, on our websites at magiccityonline.com and alabamaafterdark.com, mcoradio.com, 205live.com, and blah, 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 blah. It just keeps going. It never ends. Join us on Facebook and Twitter. If you join the show or tweet or follow us or tweet something to the show, we will call you out live on the show and give you a shout-out. Appreciate everybody tuning in, but that's going to do it for us today, and I will see y'all in a couple of days for an all-new episode. Y'all have a great Sunday and a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.